Welcome to my Y&R Insider 24 update channel, everyone. Billy snubs Jill, Nate rebuffs Audra, Jack and Victor's sneaky ambush. The Young and the Restless, Y&R, spoilers for Friday, October 3rd reveal that Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, gets the chance to lash out at his mom, Jill Abbott, Jess Walton, while the scheming against Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, hits a fever pitch. Have you heard that Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, and Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, have joined forces to fight Kane? What could go wrong? Victor and Jack form a partnership. Now that Jill is back in town, the two moguls hope she can redirect Kane and get him to lessen his venom toward the GC movers and shakers. Jill's presence will bring Victor and Jack back to life, and they will cooperate in the coming days. Elsewhere, Billy Boy lashes it out at his mom Jill. He is enraged that she sold Chancellor to Victor and is now consumed by the idea that he must get it back at any cost. Billy's humiliation. Although Billy is now an adult, the fact that Chancellor was his candy has left him with a deep wound. He obviously doesn't remember that Jill sold it because he didn't do a good job. Billy has tons more grievances, but in the end, Jill and Billy still love each other and are family. Believe it or not, Kane tries to broker peace between Billy and Jill. Later, he will have his own convo with Jill. Meanwhile, it seems far-fetched that Billy stays in the dark about the role Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, played in getting Jill to return, and to invest in Abbott Communications. We foresee Billy raging against this betrayal, even though Sally's heart was in the right place. Nate rejects Audra. Elsewhere, Nate Hastings, Sean Dominic, has to decide that to do about pesty Audra Charles, Zuleika Silva. She believes he needs to forgive and forget because she almost cheated on him and lied to him. However, Nate's lack of trust shows some toughness. Red Hot the Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Audra must work hard to win back her man. Do you think she will go to the dark side with all the professional and personal rejection coming at her? Be sure to catch up on everything happening with the Young and the Restless right now. Come back here often for the hottest Y&R updates, news, and spoilers. Get comfortable and gain access to the best soap intel on the web. Billy snubs Jill, Nate rebuffs Audra, Jack and Victor's sneaky ambush, a deep dive. Extreme emotions, persistent rivalries, and the cyclical nature of betrayal and redemption are the hallmarks of soap operas. The Young and the Restless has mastered this formula for decades, and the storyline centering on Billy Abbott, Jill Abbott, Nate Hastings, Audra Charles, and the unlikely alliance between Jack Abbott and Victor Newman is a perfect example of the genre's most compelling elements converging into a storm of drama. On the surface, the episode airing Friday, October 3rd, appears to simply move several storylines forward, but beneath the surface, these beats are laying the foundation for seismic shifts in Genoa City's power dynamics. Billy's resentment toward Jill, Nate's cold rejection of Audra, and the calculated scheming of Jack and Victor form three interwoven threads that could reshape relationships, legacies, and loyalties for months to come. Jill and Billy, a family torn between love and betrayal. Contradictions have always defined Billy Abbott. He is impulsive but longs for stability, passionate but self-destructive, and fiercely loyal but constantly harms himself and others. His relationship with Jill, his mother, reflects this duality. On one hand, Jill is Billy's fiercest protector, the woman who has forgiven him time and again when no one else would. On the other, she is also a hard-nosed businesswoman who refuses to let sentimentality cloud her judgment, especially when it comes to Chancellor Industries. Billy's fury over Jill selling Chancellor to Victor Newman cuts deeper than a simple business betrayal. To him, Chancellor represented his chance at legitimacy, a way to prove to his family and to himself that he could be more than the Abbott family's screw-up. Jill's decision to sell feels like yet another vote of no confidence, another reminder that in her eyes, he is unworthy of the empire she once entrusted to him. Billy doesn't just feel stripped of a company, he feels stripped of identity, dignity, and respect. His lashing out at Jill is more than the petulant anger of a spoiled son, it is the howl of a man who has defined his worth by the approval of his mother, only to once again fall short. However, love rages, as they always do in soap operas. Jill and Billy's bond is unbreakable, despite their arguments, accusations, and hurt feelings. They are bound together by shared loss, history, and blood. In a fascinating twist, Kane Ashby, once Billy's bitter rival, attempts to play peacemaker between mother and son. This unexpected role reversal could signify Kane's evolution as a character, but it could also foreshadow deeper ulterior motives. Does Kane genuinely want peace within the Abbott family, or is he positioning himself as the sensible son Jill can rely on in Billy's absence? Although Jill may support Kane's diplomatic efforts, devoted viewers are aware that they should always question his strategy. The unlikely catalyst in Sally's role hovering in the background of Jill's return is Sally Spectra, whose name is increasingly whispered whenever major power shifts occur in Genoa City. Sally's maneuvering to bring Jill back into the fold and invest in Abbott Communications is bound to ignite Billy's temper. Billy will likely view Sally's actions as an unforgivable betrayal, despite the fact that she has frequently acted out of loyalty to those she loves, which may have been her good intentions. This introduces another fascinating layer. Billy often demands trust and loyalty from others, yet his own history is littered with betrayals, affairs, and half-truths. His rage toward Sally could be interpreted as projection rather than righteous outrage. Sally has taken decisive action where he has failed. She has shown vision where he has stumbled. For Billy, being blindsided by her initiative is less about the action itself and more about the blow to his ego. Once again, someone else, his mother, his rival, now Sally, has taken control of the narrative he wanted to write for himself. If Billy lashes out too harshly, he risks alienating Sally and pushing her further into the arms of his rivals. This tension could set the stage for a domino effect, where personal resentment leads to professional sabotage, destabilizing Abbott Communications at a crucial time. Nate and Audra, a relationship at a crossroads. Meanwhile, the romantic turmoil between Nate Hastings and Audra Charles offers a very different kind of drama, one that blends passion, mistrust, and the lingering consequences of ambition. Nate has always struggled to choose between his professional goals and his personal integrity. He has been portrayed as both a romantic hero and a cautionary tale due to his affair with Victoria Newman, his betrayal of Devon, and his ruthless ascent up the corporate ladder. Audra, by contrast, thrives in chaos. She is manipulative, seductive, and fiercely intelligent, always playing 3 moves ahead in the corporate chess game. However, despite her calculating genius, she is unable to control her own impulses, particularly when it comes to loyalty. Nate is at the breaking point because of her lies and near infidelity. Nate's rejection of Audra is more than just a personal breakup, it is a declaration of self-respect. Nate has allowed powerful women like Victoria and Audra to influence him for too long. He asserts that trust is non-negotiable by remaining firm. His decision could mark the beginning of a redemption arc, where Nate reclaims the moral high ground he sacrificed in his hunger for power. The remaining concern is how Audra will react. Rejection has never sat well with her, and she may channel her pain into vengeance. With her career and love life both in jeopardy, she could spiral into the darker side of her personality, becoming even more ruthless, more manipulative, and more dangerous. Audra likes to win, and if she can't get Nate back, she might focus on breaking him down professionally, emotionally, or both. Jack and Victor, the unholy alliance. Perhaps the most shocking development of all is the emerging partnership between Jack Abbott and Victor Newman. Longtime rivals, these 2 titans of Genoa City have waged countless battles across boardrooms, bedrooms, and courtrooms. Their feud is the backbone of the young and the restless, a rivalry that defines not just their families but the very fabric of the show. For them to form an alliance, even a temporary one, suggests that the threat posed by Kane Ashby, or perhaps by forces yet unseen, is significant enough to override decades of animosity. Victor and Jack do not forgive easily, nor do they forget. Any truce between them is not born of trust but of necessity. Their target, Kane, has long been a wild card in the Genoa City landscape. Once dismissed as a conman, he has repeatedly reinvented himself, climbing into positions of influence and power. Kane's schemes may be far more dangerous than anyone realizes if he has become so irritating to Victor and Jack that they have agreed to work together. Yet, can Victor and Jack truly work together? Their egos are colossal, their methods diametrically opposed, and their mutual contempt legendary. An alliance that is based on convenience is always unstable. At any moment, either could betray the other, plunging their fragile partnership into chaos. Viewers can expect this truce to be peppered with veiled insults, double crosses, and power plays, each man convinced he is using the other as a pawn. Foreshadowing future fallout. The foundation for Genoa City's explosive future is laid by these intertwined narratives. Billy's vendetta against Jill and Sally could drive him back into destructive habits, alienating him from his family and sabotaging his career. Jill may find herself forced to choose between her biological son and the surrogate son, Kane, who increasingly positions himself as her ally. While Nate's moral stance toward Audra may earn him some community respect back, it also places a target on his back. Audra is not a woman to be underestimated, and her pain could be weaponized into ruthless retaliation. As for Victor and Jack, their alliance is a ticking time bomb. While they may momentarily succeed in neutralizing Kane, the inevitable implosion of their partnership will likely cause collateral damage across both the Newman and Abbott families. In the grand tradition of the young and the restless, no victory will be permanent, no truce everlasting. Each decision made in this arc will have ripples that spread far beyond the immediate players, drawing in characters like Sally, Devon, Lily, and even Victoria, who may find themselves caught in the crossfire. Conclusion. The episode centering on Billy's snub of Jill, Nate's rejection of Audra, and the scheming of Jack and Victor is not just another day in Genoa City, it is the prelude to seismic shifts in power, loyalty, and legacy. Every soap thrives on conflict, but what makes The Young and the Restless particularly compelling is how personal grievances bleed into corporate battles, how love affairs intertwine with business takeovers, and how family loyalty is constantly tested against ambition. Billy's pain, Nate's resolve, Audra's vengeance, Jill's pragmatism, Sally's ambition, Kane's opportunism, and the unholy alliance of Jack and Victor together create a volatile cocktail of drama. Viewers should prepare for betrayals, reconciliations, power grabs, and emotional breakdowns, all the ingredients that have kept The Young and the Restless at the top of daytime television for decades.